This is Part 3, Episode 169. Solar System, about 100 million kilometer in space away from Earth. 12 official level undyings were surrounding a huge gold disk ship, attacking Luo Feng and Dylan, who were hiding within. Use soul attacks straight through the ship against Luo Feng. Don't care about anything else, get rid of him. Yang Zhu communicated to them. Don't ever let that Dylan keep Luo Feng in his world. The moment he enters the world, there'd be no meaning in this battle. Yes, Lord. The 12 undyings all used their soul attacks, even those not proficient in such techniques did so. As long as their undying energy became voids, they could use it as a soul attack. Whether it was a fighter or spirit reader, they simply used undying energy. Within the ship. Relax, you are both in my body, they cannot get in. However, you'll have to block their spirit attacks. A huge face appeared on the wall in the resting room of the ship. He looked at Luo Feng and Dylan and smiled. Soul attacks are useless against me, however I have no way to block them. The material used to build this resting room has a definite effect on blocking undying energy. It can also weaken the soul attacks, it's the best I can do. Leave the blocking of soul attacks to me. Dylan emphasized. A formless undying energy wrapped about Luo Feng, blocking him against the 12 official level undying's attacks. Rumble. Rumble. Even though it wasn't visible, Luo Feng could feel the undying energies attacking over and over. These bastards keep dispersing my world energy. Your Majesty, I have no way to keep you in my world. Dylan's face was panicked. They are aiming straight at you, and from the looks of it, they want to kill you. Kill me. Luo Feng was shocked. Dylan, can you withstand it? It takes up a lot of energy. Dylan replied, his expression heavy. Luckily, I'm proficient in the soul offense and defense. Plus, the walls of this room have a weakening effect on their attacks. I can hold it for a while. However, amongst the 12 official level undyings, 3 of them are proficient in soul attacks. If time drags long, I may not be able to hold it. Rumble. Rumble. The many undying attacks clashed over and over. Dylan controlled his undying energy into a complex web-like protection against them, blocking them from attacking Luo Feng. Dylan, hold on for a while. 9 Blade Knights people will be here soon. Luo Feng communicated. Dylan's expression was serious, he fought hard to withhold them. Ah! A painful scream. Rumble. An explosion from outside the ship. In the space, even though the 12 official level undyings already knew this ship had melded with a metal life form, they had kept their guards up and maintained their distance. However, as they flew about and unleashed their soul attacks to no avail over and over, they got more desperate. The further they were, the weaker their soul attacks. Hence the 12 slowly got closer in desperation. And just before, very suddenly, the dark gold disk ship that seemed solid and sturdy suddenly extended a large metal arm, fast as lightning, faster than an Emperor-level undying's attacking speed. It waved, grabbing one of the official level undyings proficient in soul attacks, and used its strength. With a rumble, the undying exploded. Be careful of the ship. Stay further away from it. The other 11 undyings were shocked. Who? Large amounts of green light dispersed in all directions, instantly reforming into a black-robed purple-haired lady. It was obvious that she had reached the undying body level. She communicated anxiously, everybody be careful, this metal life form has good comprehension of the space laws. When it exploded my undying body, my dispersed undying energy was actually unable to escape for a while. That hand locked me in with space laws and destroyed my undying energy. I lost a great amount of it. What? The other 11 were shocked. With an undying body, being destroyed once had almost no effect on their energies. Of course, it depended on who used it. Like in Primal Chaos City, back when the city leader's palm smashed down casually on the 2 undyings. They were smashed so hard they were very close to dying, but of course they were spared. This level of control was much harder than simply killing those 2 undyings. And like True Yang Emperor, he could easily kill an official level with just one move. Ha ha ha, see if you dare underestimate me. Ha, 3 proficient in soul attacks, 1 heavily injured. The other can give up on attacking with their full strength. A huge human face appeared on the ship. He laughed loudly and became a blur as it extended 2 huge hands and grabbed about. He even aimed at the other 2 specialized in soul attacks. It forced the 12 official level Undyings to dodge over and over while attacking. This naturally lowered their attacking power by a lot. Through the external simulator, Luo Feng and Dylan clearly saw everything. It's much easier. Dylan was happy. What a strong ship. Luo Feng complimented the sturdiness of the ship. This ship was an F9 grade ship that had melded with a metal life form. In terms of defense, it was extremely strong, and the metal life form made it even more special. Just like if a metal mountain suddenly became a life form, its life construct would definitely have huge differences from a flesh and blood life form. In the universe, there were many life forms without souls. Many of them, and the Mosha clansman was one. Those without souls would naturally have their life cores. When Luo Feng and Dylan along with the metal life form ship were facing off against the 12 official level Undyings, Yang Zhu and the other 5 Emperor level Undyings were worried. Useless. Yang Zhu roared within. Ha, Yang Zhu, they can't even harm Luo Feng, you should just give up. Bloodthirsty Emperor laughed and waved a peculiar-shaped blade, fighting it out with the 6. Rumble. The surrounding space was torn apart. Every time it was recovering, it was sliced through again. A 1,000,000 kilometer in diameter area about was completely torn apart. The space flowed madly about, with the 7 emperors fighting it out madly. However, the mad space flow couldn't even hurt them. Boom. Yang Zhu blocked a blade and was instantly knocked back hundreds of thousands of kilometers, spitting out gold blood. Senior, what do we do? The other emperors were anxious too, of which the black-armored lady communicated, it's 6 of us against Bloodthirst Emperor, and yet we are at a disadvantage. These 12 useless things cannot kill Luo Feng, we are purely wasting time. If Bloodthirst Emperor could get here so fast, the other people from the Virtual Universe Company will be here soon. I know. Yang Zhu was incredibly worried. At this time, the distant gold disk ship suddenly had a blur of gold light about it. With the gold blur, an incredibly huge pressure spread throughout. The strength of this wave instantly covered the surrounding 10 million kilometer, even the battling Yang Zhu and the others all stopped. God country teleportation. Yang Zhu's expression was ashen. A blur of silhouettes, every one giving off terrifying pressure, gathered together, it reached an unbelievable level. Even though he was over 1,000,000 kilometers away, Yang Zhu still shuddered within. Silence. Space was silent, the 12 official level Undyings along with Yang Zhu and the other emperors all gathered. Bloodthirst Emperor flew towards the gold disc and it naturally opened a door at its side. Luo Feng and Dylan flew out into space. My God. Luo Feng watched the blur of silhouettes appear, completely stunned. With just a glance, it was at least 1,000. Every one of them had energies that exceeded Dylan, even with others that were comparable to Bloodthirst Emperor. A god country teleportation of over 1,000 Undyings in the silent space. The amount of power was even bigger than the Undying Mother Nest before. These weren't 1,000 normal Undyings, this was the true elite of a knight, capable of easily stomping on an Undying Mother Nest. This 1,000 was led by a jade-armored lady wielding 2 blades, as her cold energy spread throughout. Luo Feng. She looked at Luo Feng. I'm here on the knight's orders to protect you. Thank you, knight, thank you all. Luo Feng bowed respectfully in space. The jade-armored god, along with the entire army's pressure, all looked at Yang Zhu. She roared coldly, Yang Zhu Emperor, Luo Feng is a member of our Virtual Universe Company, what right does you huge axe dojo have to make a move on our member? Humph. Yang Zhu's expression was ugly, he rubbed the blood on his lips and snorted coldly. Capture Yang Zhu Emperor. The lady ordered. Yes. Immediately, 26 Emperor-level Undyings flashed over like lightning. This made Yang Zhu and his other emperors all change their expressions. The Virtual Universe Company and the Huge Axe Dojo were both leviathans of humanity. They frequently had little squabbles. However, his actions today had made it so that if he were truly to be captured, even the Huge Axe Dojo would find it hard to save him. And once he was captured, it would be a true humiliation. Get lost. Yang Zhu's eyes gleamed with madness. He howled fiercely and the ancient engraving on his forehead lit up. A terrifying energy emanated in all directions. Like a fierce beast that was awakening, his forehead seemed to begin to tear apart, revealing a single purple vertical eye. The purple vertical eye shot out a purple gaze, sweeping past the surrounding space and condensing the area about. He'd rather fight it out before being captured. Rumble. There were ripples in space and a terrifying pressure descended, almost like a dragon descending on countless ants. The energy made the surrounding people all submit immediately, as it spread over the surrounding starfield. The powerful Undying Army's power was instantly squashed, and even the uprising Yang Zhu was suddenly pushed back down, forcefully stopped halfway through his move. A blur silhouette gradually appeared. Father! Yang Zhu turned and shouted with glee. Standing beside the vast Undying Army, Luo Feng could clearly feel the powerful energy from this army beside him. Barbata shouted loudly within Luo Feng's mind, Undying Army. These Undying are all stronger than your teacher, Hu Yang Bo. This is definitely an elite army, there's actually no normal one within. Luo Feng had never felt such a terrifying wave of power before. 26 Emperor-level Undyings immediately surrounded Yang Zhu Emperor. Yang Zhu grew mad, and began to unleash his trump card. Rumble. The purple vertical eye that split open on his forehead condensed the surrounding million-kilometer of space. That ancient energy instantly made the weakest person in the area Luo Feng fall into a nightmare illusion. He felt like the entire vast universe had vanished before him, leaving only the purple eye floating in space. Yang Zhu Emperor is terrifying. Luo Feng was just shaken out of it. However, a force hundreds to thousands of times even stronger descended and caused Luo Feng's soul to instantly go black. He had lost consciousness immediately, before awakening later, as he heard the despicable voice of Yang Zhu Emperor shouting, Father! Shahua Knight! Luo Feng blinked his eyes and looked over. In the distant space, a majestic being stood there. His body was a blur, surrounded by black flames that spread over 1,000,000 kilometers about. If Earth was to touch these flames, it would instantly be reduced to ash. Even the space around was burning into particle streams. The large amounts of space flow between became nothing but particles. At this instant, everything within the solar system was under his power. Universe space, with him as the dictator. He was the ruler of space itself. Luo Feng could clearly feel this feeling. The blurry being within the core of the black flames that burned hotter than the sun, he was invincible. This was the being that at Sector Lord level could kill an official level Undying, becoming an emperor straight after breaking through to Undying. In 100,000 years he became a knight, Shahua Knight. Luo Feng muttered. Over 1,000,000,000,000 years, this being has been invincible and terrifying. Those black flames, it reminds me of the 9 black planets that burned with black flames, the ones Tian Shi Palace's leader demonstrated for me back then. Comparing Tian Shi Palace's leader to Shahua Knight. Tian Shi Palace's leader was more controlled. He probably didn't want to bully little Luo Feng. Hence he controlled his power more. Shahua Knight however burnt with black flames over the 1,000,000 kilometer in area. He unleashed his strength. Greetings Shahua Knight. The jade-armored lady bowed respectfully, following which the vast Undying Army all bowed respectfully too. Greetings Knight. Luo Feng and Dylan bowed too. Greetings teacher. Greetings Knight. The 12 official level Undyings and 5 Emperor level Undyings all bowed respectfully. Only Yang Zhu Emperor was glowing with the purple light, as the eye on his forehead began to close, shouted out excitedly to his father, after which he roared angrily at the Undying Army, Father, 9 Blade Knights Undyings actually want to capture me. Humph. With a snort, Luo Feng felt his consciousness shake. It resounded amongst all the Undyings about. You'd rather use the forbidden skill than look for me. The majestic being within the black flames said, with a sense of rage. If you'd have trained well, you'd long have reached the level of controlling that treasure. Then you'd have no fear of these emperor-level undyings. Yes. Yang Zhu bowed respectfully, not daring to say any more. The majestic being looked at the army, his voice rumbling through their minds. Jade. Jade greets Shahua Knight. The jade-armored lady, leader of the Undying Army, replied respectfully. Jade Emperor was 9-Blade Knight's strongest Undying. Jade, Tong Nan, Tru Yang, they were life-or-death friends. They frequently explored the secret regions together, and through the many experiences, they naturally became good friends. And it was obvious that they were all extremely powerful, belonging to the pinnacle of emperors. Of course, Tru Yang Emperor, he was amongst the countless races in the universe, trillions of undyings, the closest to becoming a knight. Even against a knight, he would survive. Jade and Tong Nan were slightly weaker. Jade. Shahua Knight roared amidst the black flames. Did you order the capture of my son? Shahua Knight. Jade's appearance was beautiful. The jade armor had gems that were translucent. As she was standing there, it was almost like she wasn't there. Obviously she could withstand the pressure, as she smiled respectfully. I'm here on the orders of the knight to protect Luo Feng. And Yang Zhu brought people to even kill him. No matter what, Luo Feng is still a core member of our virtual universe company. Any punishment should be dealt by the company. Yang Zhu's actions, he has overstepped. Hence, I want to capture him and bring him to the knight. Yang Zhu is my son, any punishment will be done by me and not 9-Blade. Shahua Knight's voice boomed like thunder. It made all the undyings in the army grimace in pain. Luo Feng, however, didn't feel anything. That's strange. Luo Feng looked at the over 1,000 undyings along with Dylan and Bloodthirst Emperor, all grimace in pain, only he wasn't affected. It's probably 'cause I'm too weak. The moment it hits me, I'd probably die instantly, hence he didn't target me. Luo Feng thought. Looking at the army all grimace in pain, Yang Zhu and his group were satisfied. Take this as a punishment. Shahua Knight said coldly, remember, don't ever disrespect any knight. Jade could only lower her head and bow respectfully, yes. After all, in terms of strength, Shahua Knight was even stronger than 9-Blade. He floated amidst the black flames, after which his gaze fell on Luo Feng. His voice becoming more affectionate, you are Luo Feng. So powerful, forcing even Jade Emperor to lower her head, the entire Undying Army submitting under the pressure. Luo Feng was still exclaiming when he discovered the being's gaze on him. He was stunned as he heard the gentle voice, that's Luo Feng. All the undyings there could only stare in shock. Is this the same tyrannical Shahua Knight? A genius amongst the absolute geniuses. He didn't need to bother himself with such little beings, yet he spoke with such a gentle tone to Luo Feng. I am. Luo Feng was stunned as he quickly reacted. Bowing respectfully, he said, greetings knight. Shahua Knight's voice didn't seem to have any rage, all it had was affection. I had asked my son to come talk to you about selling the rights of Earth. I didn't expect this useless son of mine to make such a mess of it. Luo Feng blinked his eyes. Jade Emperor and the other undyings were all speechless. Yang Zhu stared even wider, father. Shut up. Shahua Knight's roar caused Yang Zhu to get even more angry and nervous. The entire atmosphere within that space was awkward. Shahua Knight's pampering of his son was well reputed throughout. However today, he was that courteous to a little domain lord punk and fierce towards his son. This was unbelievable. Luo Feng may be a rare genius of a 10,000 eras. However, even a rare genius of 10 million years wouldn't be treated that way. Geniuses were ultimately just that. The strong were the strong. Before truly becoming one of the strong, none of them deserved to be treated that well by Shahua Knight. Luo Feng, I'll talk to you personally. Are you willing to sell Earth to me? Shahua Knight smiled at Luo Feng. Whatever conditions there are, just speak. Knight. Luo Feng said respectfully. Earth is my home and all the humans of Earth, no matter what. I won't be willing to sell it. Luo Feng had seen through the situation. No matter what. Nine-Blade Knight had already intervened, meaning this matter was already a clash between the two Leviathans. Shahua Knight wouldn't make a move against him. The birthplace of a race. Shahua Knight nodded. As a birthplace, Earth is indeed special to you. I won't force you. Yang Zhu. Shahua Knight turned to his son. Yang Zhu Emperor was shocked. Even though he was called Yang Zhu Emperor, this was just a name for respect and formalities. Those that were higher in power may simply call him Yang Zhu, taking away the emperor position. However, his true name was Meng Cha Luo. As his father, Shahua Knight would normally call him by his true name, as it was more affectionate. Only when he was unhappy would he call him Yang Zhu. Father. Yang Zhu felt the tone of his father's voice, shouting out respectfully. I only gave you the right to buy Earth. I'd never expect you to go to such lengths. If Dylan didn't protect Luo Feng, would you have killed him? Shahua's serious voice was filled with rage. Father. Yang Zhu looked at his father suspiciously. You don't know when to stop. If this goes on, who knows what huge trouble you will bring. Shahua Knight said coldly. I now punish you, to be imprisoned in the 9th Starfield jail hell for 1,000 eras. Father. Yang Zhu stared wide-eyed. Luo Feng, Bloodthirst Emperor, Jade Emperor, Dylan etc., all the Undyings there were stunned. My God. Back then, Shahua Knight had thrown his son into the 9th jail hell, however that was only for 1,000 years. This time it was 1,000 eras, that was over 10 million years, and in the 9th jail hell, that was a long-lasting nightmare. All the Undyings were stunned and speechless. Even if Yang Zhu had killed Luo Feng, it didn't deserve such a severe punishment.